All comes down to this.
Hell yeah, man. Let's go ahead and introduce the players. Top right hand position, we have Kawaii.LighT from Team Light. He's spawning as the blue Terran. Bottom left hand position, we have the red Zerg. It is Liquid.Ret, of course. Now, Ret has been in the semifinals so many times for this Team Liquid Open. He is due for one, man. This guy has so much talent. It's crazy how he hasn't been able to really clinch himself that spot yet.
Well, just by being this deep in the tournament on multiple occasions, that pretty much clinches him a spot in and of itself. Because of course he's earning lots of points. You don't. It's not just about winning, guys. Just by playing in these events and by getting further than the others, you earn points, and those points are totaled up. And at the end of the qualifier season, we'll call it, whoever has the most points earns some of those other valuable spots, coveted spots.
That's very true, man. So Red has a good chance of actually qualifying for TSL, which, what would a TSL be without Red? Seriously. Like, he was in all the StarCraft Brood War ones. He deserves to be in it, in my opinion. But I'm sure we'll see him in TSL number 4. But, it is Daybreak, very standard play. I was actually saying 2 racks pressure is probably not going to be an option for either of these two players, seeing as how 2 racks pressure sucked in the last 2 games, and Ret held it off. Ret, I was saying, should actually cut some corners, knowing that. I mean, that should be part of his mindset, I think. But maybe Ret isn't really a player like that likes to do that.
I think Ret was at one time a player that likes to do that. Ret,
Yes,
I can
yes.
remember years ago, like it was so long ago, but really it was more like 10 months ago. Ret would sit down, play a game of StarCraft, and he'd say, "All right, this is what I'm going to do, and that's all there is to it. I hope you don't hard counter or blind counter, because if you do, I'm kind of screwed." But I think it was at the NASL finals last year, Andre, when I got to the airport. Ret was there, and I talked to him, and he said, "Man, you know what I found out? I found out that speedlings are really good at scouting." And that allows him to play a lot more reactively, and he's really become just a great player, man. He's good at figuring out what's going on. We've seen him sacrificing those overlords at critical times in every game thus far. I mean, that's so crucial that you do that, and that you always stay in the know, and that you're able to adequately respond to what your opponent does. Zerg is the reactive race, after all.
Yeah, very true. I mean, both games we had the Overlord going in and seeing exactly what transition his opponent was going to, whether it's an all-in or not. And those are the critical things that you have to be really on top of, in my opinion, when you're playing Zerg, ever. Because you can get easily build order countered, and obviously the hatchery and the larva mechanics don't really offer a lot of, I would say, reactive reactive defenses. You can't really react to something that your build order countered effectively and efficiently, like the other 2 races with Warp Gate and Chrono Boost, and of course the power of reactors, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see how Kawaii.LighT is going to be able to deal with Ret on a map like Daybreak, in my opinion. Just because Ohana sort of plays out like this, just like Shakura's Plateau. I feel like it sort of plays out like Ohana as well, but longer, so it really favors Ret's style.
Yeah, I think so too. We're going to see him sit back, take gases a little bit later, make a lot of queens, make a lot of drones, sort of turtle to a 3 base, and then just go right up to hive. And that's how Ret likes to play. It's also very possible that we'll see some Zergling, Baneling, Mutalisk here. But I think of all the Muta maps, Daybreak is probably one of the least friendly to it. Because once you sort of commit your Mutas into a base, they're sort of stuck there, right?
Yeah.
If you fly into, for example, if he flies into Kawhi's main, he can't go hide up in the top right-hand corner of the map and hope to sneak out on the outside. He's either going to take fire in the back of the natural, or he's going to take fire in the back of the main. So you got to be really careful about playing Muta on this map. You can still do it, and it can still be brutally effective. But it's not as strong here as it is on a map like, I don't know. I'm thinking of I keep thinking about Terminus for some reason, but that's kind of old school.
I agree with you completely. I think mutas are not so great offensively, but I think they're good defensively. Just because it's kind of hard to just rely on all ground units. You expand in sort of a line format. You can see the typical base you want to take is the top left-hand corner. Well, once you take 4 bases as Zerg, it's a lot of positions to defend with a set amount of units. So getting those mutas and denying medevacs, I think, is really, really important. Not saying we're guaranteed to see that style, but Ret has been known to do that defensive muta style here and there on occasion, and then switch into something else. I'm interested to see if he actually does that here. Probably not in the beginning, but maybe come 12-13 minutes in, it's very possible we see that style from him.
Ret's build looking pretty similar to what we've seen on the previous maps. He's just getting the Baneling Nest, the double Evo Chamber. Lair is probably going to follow shortly. Income-wise, he's done a great job of droning up. He's sitting on a solid 2 base saturation right now. His 3rd is finishing, so now we can work on making that 3 bases of saturation. Kawai's not done a bad job either, though. He's looking pretty strong with 2 bases, 3 orbitals, dropping a lot of mules and really powering that mineral income that way. And he's got some Hellions out that are always something that you have to be mindful of.
Yes, just trying to deny as much as possible, particularly the creep tumors. But Kawaii.LighT, I mean, he's looking to go into macro against Ret. He will be starting off pretty equally, so this is the first time that nothing's really happened in the beginning stage, and we're getting to see, you know, the beginning of the game start at probably mid-game stage, which is really, really cool. I think that's where both these players actually flourish the most. I would say Ret has a little bit of an advantage in that fashion, but looking at the builds, I don't see any particular advantage coming in from either player. Income tab is showing 55 to 47 harvesters, very, very similar. 3rd orbital command center obviously helping out quite substantially. Kawaii.LighT might have a 2-2 timing that we've seen so many different times. Push out a 2-2 and you know you have equal upgrades and you try to deny the 4th base. That's probably what he's gearing up for, if I had to guess.
Ret just chasing these Hellions off the Zelnaga tower. Gets 1 Hellion kill and forces Kawhi to vacate that position. Spire is going to go down, so we're going to see that muta play that we talked about, Andre. And we'll see if Ret's able to make it work or not. 2-2, as you predicted, starts immediately for Kawhi. He's got a lot of production kind of kicking in right now. He's adding 1 more reactor on an extra barracks, and he's going to have 1, 2, 3 reactored barracks and 2 barracks with tech labs. That gives him the flexibility to produce a lot of Marines.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, you really have to wonder what he's going to do with all those Marines, because at this point, it's hard to actually approach your opponent when you really have no indication of what they're doing. So that's why we're going to have these very tiny, small little pokes. And these are just meant to actually scout out the area, deny creep tumors, obviously, but really try to get a feel of what your opponent is going for. And let's see how well he's going to accomplish that.
Little Marine medevac poke. Doing a good job of denying Ret's creep spread. Baneling's going to come out and try to meet it, but Kawhi paying good, close attention, lifts his Marines up immediately, not losing anything there. And floats off to harass again another day, Andre.
Yeah, look at this. He actually shows his factory going up to the top left-hand position. If he can plant it there, maybe he can do something. But Banelings are going to roll in here, and his Kawaii.LighT is... Oh, he's going to actually pick up all of his units. Well played.
Really beautiful micro by Kawhi. He's going to kill every Baneling, and now he can try and deny this expansion. Kawhi playing some great StarCraft here.
Yes, he is. Oh, man, and he's going to take out, yes, all these Zerglings. Very impressive.
Look at this medevac play. Excellent play.
Wow.
Killing the expansion. Red did not cancel that base, and Kawhi showing off a little bit. He's going to want to lift up and get out of there now. This is officially too many units, but Kawhi making the most of a... Or those Marines, I guess, making the most of a bad situation. They were surrounded, Andre, but they just kept popping up and down. Beam me up, Scotty.
That obviously is really, really rare to actually have. The Marines weren't really prepared on doing that much damage. They're just trying to feel everything out. But look at this. Muta's coming into the main base, and they're going to take out all these mutas. Again, Kawaii.LighT is so underdefended. Now, what he has going for him is 2-2. Just is about to finish. That'll help out so much with these mutas and defending against them, but still, he needs to not lose so many SCVs.
Yeah, multi-pronged aggression. Mutas in the main, Zerglings in the 3rd base. Red's trying to control it well. These mutas are chased off to this corner, and this is kind of what we talked about, but Kawhi's got no turrets in the back of his natural and no marines there either, and Ret's going to do more damage there in the natural expansion. Kawhi has lost only 11 SEVs, 12 now. And, well, actually, I thought that had gone worse for him, but look, Andre, now the mutas are cornered. And for Ret to get out of there, he's going to have to take some damage. Or he's just going to fly right past because Kawhi's not paying attention.
Oh gosh, still doing more damage, and look at how many banelings are morphing at the third base. Only Marauders, they're not even in position to receive them very well. And wow, Ret is going to do an amazing amount of damage with this attack. My god, Kawaii.LighT actually needs to lift this if he wants to survive.
This is a ton of banelings. It's enough to kill the command center if Kawhi doesn't lift. I don't think that's exactly what Ret wants, though. He probably wants to connect on units. Use the banelings to scare away the bio, and the Zerglings can take care of the rest. Muta's coming to join up as well. One big focused punch here from Ret into the third base of Kawhi. Kawhi drops a scan. What does he see? Nothing. Just a couple of links streaming, which is enough to prompt him to move some more units down there. There's another good scan. This time he's right on top of the banelings. Ret deciding he doesn't want to attack into the third. He's going to reposition a little bit. And
Kawaii.LighT is not prepared. He has no siege tanks. Banelings are going to go in, killing Marines so fast. But look at that spread. Absolutely fantastic. Going back all the way past his ramp. And it looks like a lot of Zerglings will survive from this, but Marines are going to come help. I think Ret has no, he has to back
he's got to
out.
Turn around. That was great splitting by Kawhi, and the banelings were not getting those big detonations that they really want to be super effective. Kawhi going to throw down another command center after that, feeling very, very confident. Ret, 160 supply against the 130 of his opponent. His hive is finishing, so the really good thing for Ret is he's got more transitions. Behind this, banelings again going to come, and Kawhi does not look like he's watching Stim goes down, and he is going to go ahead and micro backwards.
Oh no, and this is just too many units. He might actually get through to the mineral line. Baneling's going to splash directly on the SEVs, gets a ton of them, and Zerglings are just going to clean up everything. Look at that, Ret just using Zergling Baneling to win out the game, punishing his opponent for not getting any sorts of siege tank counts. This is how you punish the Marine Marauder medevac style. Look at how many medevacs are out in the field. The burst damage doesn't even take that into consideration. So very well played by Ret, and he's going to get into the production line. Look at just the huge stream of units rolling on through into the natural. This is going to be lights out for Kawaii.LighT pretty soon.
Yeah, it's just nothing but red going across the map right now, Andre. Zerglings and Banelings. GG comes out of Kawhi. Ret will win.